The Code Hard Truth, fighting bad programming one error at a time.
Hey, welcome in. So today what we're going to be talking about is whether or not Java is a pass-by-value or pass-by-reference type of language. And the short answer is Java is pass-by-value. If that's all you needed to know, then thank you for watching. If you want the slightly longer answer, I'm going to show you a quick example that's going to demonstrate exactly what pass-by-value versus pass-by-reference is, and you'll understand why Java is indeed pass-by-value. So here we have a very simple class. It's called the Terminator class. We have a private variable, just the Terminator's name, an override constructor where you're going to set their name. Then you're going to be able to test whatever variable you put in here to see if it matches the private variable has been set to. And then you're going to have a straightforward set name method. So let's go to our main, do this demonstration, and see exactly why Java is pass-by-value. So let's quickly go over exactly what's going to happen here. We're going to instantiate this object, this new Terminator called the T800. We're going to call him Arnold. Then we're going to take that object and we're going to pass it into this method. And what's going to happen is this method is going to use now this variable and test to see whether or not the name is indeed Arnold. Then we're going to go ahead and change the name to the T1000. And finally, we're going to take the variable and we're going to instantiate a new object, which we will call John Connor. And then we'll just test whether or not the name is indeed John Connor within this method. And finally, we're going to see, as soon as we exit this method, which name stuck. Is it going to be the T1000 or is it going to be John Connor? And through this, you'll see exactly why Java is pass-by-value. So what happens here is you instantiate this Terminator object that we call Arnold. And just hypothetically speaking, let's say that the address in memory where this object exists is address number 1. So as soon as you pass the T800 to this method parameter, this new variable is going to be pointing to address 1. So anything that occurs with this variable right here is going to directly change this object as well because they have the same exact address. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and test whether or not the name is indeed Arnold, which it's true. Then we're going to go ahead and set a new name to this object, and it's going to be the T1000. And finally, here's exactly where you see why Java is pass-by-value. When we instantiate a new object and assign it to this variable, a new address in memory will be assigned to it. In this case, we'll hypothetically call it address 2. Now, we're going to go ahead and change the name of that object to John Connor, and we're going to test it. And in this case, it is true. Within this method, this object's name is now John Connor, but it's still ultimately existing in a different address in memory. So the second you come back to your main method and you want to test which name stuck with your original object, it's going to be the T1000. It's going to spit back true. It's going to go ahead and spit back false for John Connor. And we can see that here as soon as we hit run. And the reason for that is because Java is pass-by-value. You're passing the value of this object to this parameter. But the second you assign a new object to this variable, it points to a different address. Just for fun, let's pretend Java was pass-by-reference. What that actually means is you're actually passing this object into this parameter. You're not having a variable that's just pointing to this address. So anything that's going to occur to this object within this method is going to affect this object. So if it was this case, for example, you would have the name be John Connor when you come out of the test method. Because when you assign it to a new object, it would still be affecting this original object that you put into the method. But Java's not that. Java's pass-by-value. That's why the second it is assigned to a new object, it's going to go and point to a whole new address. And whatever changes you're going to make to it within the method, they aren't going to hold the second you bounce out of it. Hopefully that's a pretty straightforward explanation, and now you know the difference between pass-by-value and pass-by-reference, and why Java is indeed a pass-by-value language.